I love that song. Like that intro has such a good drum line and a drum beat to it. I gotta try maybe drumming that one time. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to False Count Anywhere here on the Rhode Island Broadcasting Network. Eric Dunn here with you for the next 30 minutes, and this is a very special edition of FCA here for you tonight because this is the 25th broadcast of this program. And I never thought 25 would come just like that. But here we are. We are officially now just under 12 days from Christmas time. And, this is definitely the time where I think WWE is starting to get warmed up to get ready for Road to WrestleMania season. And, WrestleMania season's coming by fast. It really is. That clock doesn't stop for anybody or anything. And, it's amazing when you think about it, right? I basically have completed almost 6 months of being with Rodrigo, the man behind the scenes and the creator of this company. And, I want to thank you guys too for last week's broadcast because last week's broadcast was the first show in approximately the last 8 to hit almost 90 views by the beginning of the airtime of the following Wednesday. And I just want to say that, I know you guys have been, I'm expecting to have a 4-man team, but right now it's just a 1-man band. And I want to take this opportunity to thank you guys so much for being a part of this ride and still showing that support because it means a lot to me to see the amount of love that we're getting right now and to hopefully just continue to get on consistent numbers and just grow. And, I hope you guys know too, if you haven't been aware of this, that I'm still trying to get that 100. I want to get that 100 view mark and I want to get over it. And I think slowly and eventually we're going to get back up there. But I just want you guys to know how much I am genuinely appreciative and grateful to have this. And to support the show at Buy Me a Coffee for Rhode Island Broadcasting, where we're available over there for trying to support us over here. Um, and also as a side note too, every Wednesday at 5, guys, we do not miss a show unless, God forbid, there's a drop-dead emergency. Or should I say, I don't miss a show unless I have to. We're also available on Red Circle, Amazon, Google, Spotify, TuneIn, and Podbean podcasts. Follow us on our Facebook and YouTube channels as well. This podcast is also available on Facebook, X, Twitch, and YouTube as well. So as it goes live, we're available right over there. Or should I say, I'm available over there. But yeah, I want to make sure I state as well that even though this is my show, this is me and Ron's together because he's the man that got me this opportunity. I want to make sure I say thank you to him publicly on air in front of all of you, the fans of False Cut Anywhere and RIB, because it definitely means everything to me to have this opportunity. It really does. I am so appreciative of this chance and to be able to push to a point where I can just be comfortable being me and just not be ashamed to be me. And it's just a really cool thing I get to have this. And, I also want to express too, it's a pretty damn cool time to be a fan of WWE. It really is. Because throughout the time we're going to have together, throughout the next 30 minutes, SmackDown from last Friday night and Raw from this past Monday night. I got the results right here. I'll give you my opinion, my thoughts as we get ready for SmackDown this Friday. And as we are also getting prepared to get into everything else for WWE. But I also want to state this too regarding WWE. But before that, I have to make sure I state this broadcast of False Count Anywhere is the exclusive property of Rhode Island Broadcasting for the use of our audience, and any publication, reuses, or redistributions by anyone is not prohibited and is given the express consent to be shared everywhere and is greatly appreciated. Looks like WWE's CCO, the chief content officer, Paul Levesque, but we know him as Triple H. He's actually gone through with his promise. For approximately almost 7 days, from the 19th to Christmas, all, and I mean all, of WWE is off for the holiday. And when I mean everybody, he meant everybody. There is no one working between the 19th and Christmas. Which is why I'm going to go on the assumption that after that Raw on Monday night, this coming Monday night's Raw is going to be live. And my assumption is the rest of that SmackDown's probably going to be taped. Probably because of the holiday. And you know what? I can't say that I blame the game. Because you know what? If there's one thing that the game has shown throughout his tenure behind the corporate offices of WWE, he keeps his promises, especially to all of us in part of the WWE universe. He keeps his promise to the fans, and he treats his superstars properly. And the biggest thing that I looked at with this was that's never been done before. I mean, if you go back and you think of when Vince was in charge of payroll, when he was in charge of scheduling and putting in the live events and the cancellations at times and trying to figure out how to fill in some missing gaps, he would never give the superstars that much time off. He would never do that for the holidays. 300 days a year. You have to sacrifice. Triple H, yeah, you sacrifice, but you deserve Christmas. Also, I treat my superstars properly. Thank you for that comment. True. But here's the funny part. Christmas lands on a Monday. There is no way we're going to get a live Christmas Raw unless we get lucky that maybe Triple H makes that Raw on Christmas live. I'm not positive. I've seen a Christmas Eve that landed on a Monday and they had Raw. I'm not completely positive about that. I'm honestly not. I know we said 19th to the 25th, but I'm honestly not. I'm honestly not too sure about that because I don't know how that's going to work. And it looks to me like I can give you guys some more clarity on that right now because, as I stated, he is going to give that time off. But yeah, so he's changed the holiday schedule, as I've said before. So basically, WWE will have a full week off during the Christmas holiday. There will be no live events scheduled between the 19th and the 25th. And that is not going to be changed. But however, I think that the biggest thing I'm trying to figure out right now for WWE is regarding Raw, because it's on Christmas, is it going to be taped or is it going to be aired? I have no idea. I honestly don't know, but you know what though? One thing I will say is the Cerebral Assassin has led the charge with this company. He has really stepped up in a huge way. And I love him in charge. I love the guy in charge. He really is. So, for what I know right now is this. Yep, turns out, guys, I was right because I just found this out for you right now. Raw will be live this coming Monday. And then, as I said, no shows from the 19th to Christmas. And SmackDown next Friday will likely be a double taping. So the December 22nd edition will take place directly after this Friday night's live show, and it will air next Friday. And then the Christmas Day episode of Raw will be a best of show. That means no shows for 6 days. Yep, I was right. No SmackDown Live. That'll be double taped. No Raw Live. That'll be a best of. So, looks like, guys, Triple H kept his promise. There will be no live Raw on Christmas. I love that. I love when something like that happens. Family, especially if you're in WWE, they always take a back seat because you're on the road 300 dates a year and your family, they're at home. What are they doing? You don't know. And it's nice to see someone like Triple H actually care enough behind the scenes, along with the corporate suits of Nick Khan and WWE's corporate front office, to basically look at this and say, Christmas time is a holiday time of family. Put them with their family. Give them the week off. And they're getting a week off. So it also looks to me that looking at the dates as well, the 29th edition of SmackDown, I believe that's going to be live. So I think we're going to return back to live broadcasting officially there. And then on New Year's Day night, that Raw will also be live. So it's just Christmas where it's just going to be taped and then a Raw best of. So you know what? I absolutely love that because it speaks to me from a sense of caring. And believe me when I tell you, WWE a decade ago is nothing like it is now. There is no chance in hell, pun intended there, that anybody would get any time off, let alone on a holiday like Christmas. But you know what? With the game in charge and him running the show, he's coincidentally alongside Nick Khan running this company. I love it. And believe me when I tell you, I think WrestleMania season, especially the 40th anniversary of WrestleMania, we could literally, and I mean without any doubt in my mind, could be preparing to be on the road of arguably the greatest WrestleMania in the history of the company. If it's not the greatest, it will be one of the greatest in the history of WWE. I'm telling you guys, we're on one hell of a journey. And I also want to express this for you as well. That as I'm breaking this down for you, I will not have any information on the Royal Rumble until probably the week of New Year's. And the funny thing too is the first broadcast of 2024 is going to be on January 3rd. That's a day that's going to mean a lot to me. And it will be a very emotional day for me. And I'll explain that once we officially hit that day. But you know, I just find it funny how with like some of the dates that kind of like align the way that you don't think that it would, it actually does. But for WWE, however, I'm telling you, this road to WrestleMania 40 could literally be one of the most anticipated and highly hyped WrestleManias of all time. And as a fan and as a broadcaster, dissecting this and giving you the up-to-the-date information, I may literally be having a freaking blast. I may have so much fun with this. No lie. I could literally be having a lot of fun doing this. But on the same token, I think I am going to. So that was just the update I wanted to give you guys regarding Christmas time for WWE. Comment, that would be figuratively for having a blast. Okay, yes, thank you for the proper grammar there. Figuratively having a blast. Yeah, I think that sounds better. But anyway, I'll have more information for you guys regarding the Royal Rumble on the first broadcast of 2024 on the first Wednesday of January, which will be the 3rd. Um, but until then, we got to get through one more Raw and SmackDown before we officially hit the next live Raw on the 29th. Because as I mentioned to you before, this Friday night, we're live. But directly after that is a double taping. What that means is the 22nd is taped. And the 18th, this coming Monday night's Raw, is live as well. And yeah, we're heading into season 2 soon. Yeah, absolutely. Hard to believe. And believe me when I tell you this too. It is going to be a very sorry. I'm actually getting emotional with happiness right now because I'm telling you, reality for me started to sink in after I watched Raw this past Monday night. A lot of pieces are starting to fall into place, and believe me when I tell you, I'm gonna when we come back and I dissect Friday Night SmackDown from last week and this past Raw on Monday night. I'm also going to give you guys the reason why I think this could be a very interesting WrestleMania as well. Because there will be, as far as I'm concerned, there's going to be a returning face coming back to WWE, and I bet you he will be in the Royal Rumble. And you know what? I think he could put a huge monkey wrench into the plans. Because when I come back, I'll fully explain that for you. But so when we come back, SmackDown results and Raw, as well as a couple of other things I got to give you. And this will all be back after a word from our Rhode Island broadcasting station. You're watching False Count Anywhere here on the Rhode Island Broadcasting Network. And welcome back to False Count Anywhere. So, um, I think when I gave you guys all of that, that was a lot to digest. That was a lot to take in. But I think you could see why I would be happy about this, right? I mean, if you are a fan of WWE and you've looked at what's happened in the last month, put the pieces together. Like, fill in the blank. We could be on a crash course for one of the biggest years in WWE's history, the tenure in the company. 2024 could literally be the year that WWE squashes everybody else in sight. And I don't mean the resurrecting of Impact, which will now be once again TNA. I'm talking about AEW for being a clown show. There's a reason why WWE's bookings makes more sense. They put emotion and real feelings behind a storyline and create something that the audience, the WWE universe, fans like myself can relate to and understand the story. And I'll explain that for you right now. The SmackDown results from top to bottom here. Um, so the highlights that I saw was this too. Last Friday night, SmackDown was tribute to the troops at the Amica Mutual Pavilion in Providence, Rhode Island. Less than 45 minutes from where I live. And it was just and man, that was a good show too. War and Treaty performed their own rendition of God Bless America, which was a beautiful performance that they had. The American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, he introduced the U.S. Army Drill Team, and that was a moment. Bobby Lashley had moved forward in the United States title tournament. CM Punk specified his goal to main event WrestleMania, and believe me when I tell you, when he called people out, he called out Seth Rollins, he called out Roman Reigns. He is no longer dropping pipe bombs, he's dropping nuclears. And he is dropping them loud and proud. In the main event, the Viper Apex Predator Legend Killer Randy Orton versus the Man of the Yeah movement, LA Knight. They defeated the Bloodline. And, we all know that in WWE, you can never trust a Viper. Well, I think the same could be said when that started with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Never trust a rattlesnake. You never trust a serpent. Because what do rattlesnakes and vipers have in common? They're still snakes. And when I looked at this, it honestly told a story about what I would see with that main event. I saw that Knight had a hard time trusting Orton in that match. But they got along well. They were able to bounce off each other, and they're able to communicate properly. Comment right here. Jake the Snake was the best snake. Yeah, that's true. That's got a good point. I mean, he's definitely, yeah. I can see it. But when you think about like legendary people that actually made a difference in WWE, Stone Cold Steve Austin and Randy Orton are the two snakes in my eyes. The Viper and the Rattlesnake are the two in my eyes that's made the most impact in the history of WWE from a venomous perspective, if you want to call it like that. Austin is the Rattlesnake. Randy Orton is WWE's Apex Predator. They're both known to bite and strike when they're on the hunt. Also, unfortunately, I'm showing signs of Yawny Man coming out again. So, just so all you know, guys, just bear with me on that, all right? There are some topics that'll make me yawn myself to sleep at times, and then there's some that'll keep me awake, okay? But it's all good. But then Raw on Monday night. Now, the biggest thing that I want to tell you guys about Punk from Friday is that he didn't make his decision yet on who he was going to sign with, what brand would he be loyal to and exclusive to. He talked with Nick Aldis. He even went to NXT's Deadline to talk with HBK's Shawn Michaels. And then on Raw this past Monday night, a decision was made. Now, from top to bottom, Drew McIntyre engaged in a war of words with main event Jey Uso. Oh, side note, I don't know if WWE finally fixed the copyright for the yeet, but Jey Uso came out with the yeet shirt, and they're all saying yeet. I'm starting to get used to loving saying that word now. Like, I'm starting to get used to saying that word, and it's a funny word to say, but it's kind of cool. Um, he also gave a little bit of a love to Sami Zayn. Um, so Sammy is basically going to be on the show for a while. Not sure how much time off from WWE he's going to need, but I know that Sammy will be coming back at some point. Um, but I just find it funny that even though it may be copywritten and they're still going through it, I mean, they're letting Jay still use it. He's still wearing the shirt. I know they're still selling it. So my guess is they're either going to fight the battle, or until there's a battle to have to be fought with or fought on or fight, they're just not going to worry about it. They're just going to let them use it. And trust me, it'll be hard to make an audience not say it, even if Jay is going to be told by the guys in Gorilla, the Gorilla position, the producers, to say nope, can't say it, and that audience is not going to care. I don't care. I love saying it. Um, and then get this, Punk did make his decision. He is now exclusive to Raw, and I could not believe it. Seth Rollins came out the second he signed that contract, and Rollins ripped him to shreds. I could not believe that that actually happened. Now, this was what Rollins said about Punk. Um, now, what Rollins said to Punk was he was upfront about his feelings, saying he hated him with every fiber of his being. He also took exception to Punk calling WWE his home after he spent years bashing the company and performers like Rollins. He also said he would do everything to protect his home from people like Punk. A world champion taken up for the company he works for and promising to protect it and defend it from someone like him. Does that sound familiar? Because Rollins' words were nearly a copy and paste of what Hangman Adam Page said to him last calendar year before their 22 title showdown, which led to the acrimony between Punk and several members of AEW's roster. Yet a day later, no reports of ill will or negativity have made their way to the dirt sheets, and Punk, to the best of everyone's knowledge, hasn't tried to take anyone's block off. But the difference is money. And, I mean, there is a beef in some ways right now between Rollins and Punk. Rollins does not like Punk at all. And whether people want to believe that that's real or not in the promo, you could feel the tension even if they think it was staged or not. It was a real tension. You could see Rollins seething when he was staring right into the eyes of Punk. This comment real quick. Money is why everything happens. Yeah, exactly. Some promos can create that kind of money and bring it all in. Some can't. But the biggest thing of what Rollins said to Punk was basically the words that was used. And he basically said, when I basically heard this, I couldn't believe actually what he said. And when I basically said this and I found it, this was basically what Seth said to Punk. He goes, I'm going to show the world that in this ring, despite us working in WWE, I'm going to expose you and show the world that you're not the best in the world. I'm going to out-wrestle you and show everyone you cannot keep up with me. Now, he was saying implications that Rollins would get gassed, well, Punk would get gassed 15 minutes into the match with a physical specimen like Rollins, and that he should also not be saying so much that he's old and worn out, as that would take away credibility of their feud. And you know what? Rollins does hate Punk. I've said that before. Rollins can't stand him. And when I was looking at the promo and I was looking at it too, I know Punk doesn't like Rollins either. And that is what makes this a money drawer. There's a real story behind the scenes for years, almost 10 years, that's showing what could happen at this year's WrestleMania. And on top of that, Royal Rumble news. Punk has declared himself for the 2024 Royal Rumble. And that's also where I'm going to lead this with you too. There's a very strong chance the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar, is also going to return at the Royal Rumble. He's got one more year left on his contract. Next year's WrestleMania in 2025 is in Minneapolis, the home of Lesnar's foundation. My guess is he's going to retire at that WrestleMania and officially give a proper farewell. I can see it. Why not? I mean, the guy's done enough. And I wonder how this is going to work out. Because over a decade ago, there was a rivalry between Lesnar and Punk. Two Paul Heyman guys going at it. Punk stated to Reigns, don't forget who the OG Paul Heyman guy is. Could we potentially be seeing Punk turning heel and Reigns turning face? Could Heyman be stabbing Reigns in the back? I can't see that happening. I think Punk as a face is a lot better in my eyes. But on the same idea, I might be able to see that. But I think that the hardest thing that WWE right now is trying to figure out is what directions are they going to go to for the Rumble. But the problem with all this regarding Punk is that I think Punk is going to figure things out. Like, that's not even a question. Punk's just going to look at Punk will look at the situation and say, all right, okay, not a big deal. Well, one game at a time, let's just figure it out and let's just go through it. And believe me when I tell you, Punk, as far as I'm concerned, has all the pieces right now to be champion again in WWE, because he's going to be world champion. Let me make that so clear right now. Punk is going to be world champion again in WWE. That's not even a question in my mind. The big question is, at what expense is that going to happen against? What is the expense of that? I'm not certain right now if I have that answer. I definitely don't have it right now. But what I do know regarding Punk right now is they have fire, and they need to continue to fuel that fire. They have all the makings of a hell of a fight. Believe me when I tell you, they have got the makings for one hell of a shootout. It could be one great battle, and I hope that is the case. I really want that to be the case, because you've got now Punk and Lesnar potentially face to face again at the Rumble. This is why I'm telling you guys, the updates for the Rumble this year are so intriguing. This year's event could literally blow the roof off. I'm telling you. The road to WrestleMania for 2024 to WrestleMania 40. Don't you dare start falling asleep right now. Because when you wake up, it can be gone like that. Guys, we are counting down to 2024. That clock's not stopping. It's going faster, it feels like at times. WWE has so much going right for them. And as a broadcaster and a fan, there is nothing that I can see them doing that could screw them up. Except, however, if this were to happen, Cody will finish the story of WrestleMania. No matter who he faces. Rollins, Reigns, I don't care. But he needs to be champion and have a run in WWE. He needs to have a reign. And next week's broadcast, the final live Raw of 2023 and the final live SmackDown before Christmas. I'm going to break it all down for you guys right here. This Friday night's results and next Monday night's results, as we're just inching closer and closer to what could be one hell of a ride and one hell of a story. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me here. Once again, we're live every Wednesday at 5 on YouTube, X, Twitch, and on Facebook, as well as Red Circle, Amazon, Google, Spotify, TuneIn, and Podbean podcasts. On behalf of the man behind the scenes, the creator of this company, Ron Rigo, this is Erik Dunn saying so long, and thank you once again from my home in Bridgewater, Massachusetts. This has been a presentation of False Count Anywhere here on the Rhode Island Broadcasting Network, guys. Next Wednesday, the last one for Christmas. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. Hopefully I'll have some good news for you, for y'all once we get a little bit closer. And thank you guys so much once again for watching and listening.